Welcome. We are the Fort Valley Boys Podcast. I'm your host and moderator, Fabian and Biggs, and on tonight's fresh episode, College Football Week 2 review. NFL cranked up this past weekend, and we're going to have our Fort Valley Pick'em section where we go over our picks for the week. Guys will join me in just a moment. And of course, this is a very special show for us because, we've been doing this for 3 years. Can you believe that? 3 years. And it's part of the show, so let's go.
Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Boys, yeah. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We them boys.
And of course, this is the Fort Valley Boys show. Guys are running a little bit behind some technical issues, but they'll be on in just a moment. We got great sponsors, of course, that buynightshirt.com. Got other sponsors we're going to share with you a little bit later on. But I want to spend this part of the show while we wait for my guys to come on. I want to talk about we're going to get to college football and the NBA. In college football and NFL in just a moment. But I want to take this brief moment to discuss the U.S. Open this past weekend, how history was made with Coco Gauff being the third teenager to win the U.S. Open. If you look at the totality of history, the last 23 years, if you look at American women who have won the U.S. Open in the last 23 years, the last U.S. Women Open, of course, was Coco Gauff. Before that was Serena. Four-time champion Sloane Stephens, 2017, and Serena, and then Venus, of course. All of those women that won, American women won, were African American women. Let's not take that lightly. The last Americans to win the U.S. Open for the women's side of the bracket have been African American women. Now you might say Naomi Osaka, but she is black, but she is of Japanese heritage. She was born in Japan. She's half black, half Japanese. But we look at American women: Coco Gauff, Venus and Serena, Sloane Stephens. Sloane Stephens, of course, has fell off the map for the most part. Venus and Serena are in the twilight years of their careers. Venus is still playing. Serena just had a second child. That's just a testament to how Coco went to a tournament years ago to watch Serena play, and she actually won it. If you watch the match like I did this past Saturday, she lost the first set, but the second and third set was going. She played stronger and stronger, got used to Sabalenka's power, her ground strokes. She got used to her power and was able to play with more pace and more power in returning the serve. Just shout out to Coco Gauff, and especially to the women actually being paid the same amount as men. So her check was, I believe, $3.3 million, the same as the men's draw, which brings me to Novak Djokovic. You could tell in that match he was the oldest male to win the U.S. Open. I believe 36. I could be wrong on that, but the way he played that match, he was straining a lot. You could tell he was not right. I can tell it was a thigh or foot injury he's been dealing with during the whole tournament. But when he won the second set tiebreaker, I knew that match was over because he had room for error against Medvedev. And Joker just came through, and he was at number 24. He's tied Margaret Court for total majors won for male or female. So he already owns the men's record. Now he has the men and the women's record. We don't know if he's going to go any higher. We don't know what Nadal looks like. Medvedev seems like he has a glitch in the matrix when he plays against Joker. Even though he beat Joker 2 years ago to stop him from winning the calendar Grand Slam. So congratulations to Novak Djokovic. Great tennis. I love watching tennis. It's a gentleman and a lady sport. And I enjoy watching it. I just wish that Blake Shelton, I think, Blake Shelton, let's see the American who played Joker. He was African American who played Francis Tiapo in the quarters. Um, Hope he makes a name for himself, like we thought the guy from Wimbledon that went to Westlake High School in Atlanta. Um, Tennis is still in good hands. Carlos Alcaraz, he needs to get a little bit more mature. And that's what killed him in the match against Medvedev. Medvedev just outplayed him, beat him in 4 sets. And we want to see the dream matchup of Alcaraz versus Joker, because they had a thrilling 5-setter at Wimbledon. And Joker would have won that one. He more than likely would have won the Grand Slam this year if he would beat Alcaraz. But he did beat Alcaraz in Cincinnati last month in the hard courts part of the season. So I know nobody's really watching right now because my guys are not on, and I'm trying to fill some time till they get here. But just sports that we usually don't talk about, we need to give them a shout out for as making sure that we represent all sports on the show, not just football, maybe it's regular basketball, maybe touch baseball. We want to touch on all sports. As far as we didn't get a chance to talk about this because this would have been my party shots. We're taking out the party shots on our show right now while football season is going on, so we can get to a lot of football. We had a passing of a legend, Bob Barker, died a few weeks ago at the age of 99. If you think of daytime television when you're younger, my age, when you're homesick, or if you're on break from school, like spring break or Christmas break, summer break, MLK Day, or whatever. When you think of daytime television, some people will say Young and the Restless, bold and beautiful. It's what plot is. I think of Bob Barker because watching him for the majority of my life on Price is Right, that's my host for the Price is Right, not Drew Carey. Bob Barker. He was my host. He was the person that I always wanted to emulate when I was younger. I was like 12, 13, 10, whatever. I actually wanted to be a game show host when I was younger. I tell my kids that at my school that that's one of my dream jobs. To be on the news as a weatherman, but you don't see a lot of black guys now doing the weather. Al Roker. That's about it for what I can see as far as major network television. But when I think of daytime television, I think of Bob Barker with his games and Come On Now, and help controlling the pet population, having your pet spayed. So think of that. It's a sad day. Bob was gone in '99. That was a couple weeks ago. Like I said, we eliminated party shots for this time until in the football season. We might bring it back. I'm not sure, but just wanted to give my well wishes to the Barker family. To say this is a sad day. Like I said, when Alex Trebek died 3 years ago, I don't even watch the Jeopardy anymore because Alex not there. It's just something about watching the show and you're comfortable with that person and just didn't feel comfortable with Keith Jennings or Mayim Bialik. Even though I like Mayim Bialik, her from Blossom and Big Bang Theory. Just don't feel comfortable watching Jeopardy. I watched it in about a year, 2 years. And I love watching the show because I always want to go on Jeopardy as a contestant. I know I might not win, but I just always want to have the experience of being on the show. Sad day. As far as television, royalty with Bob Barker. When you think of, like I said, daytime television, think of Bob Barker, Young and the Restless, Eric Braeden, the Black Knight, that sort of thing. You always think of that. Come to the stage now is one of my guys, Pretty Tony. What I call him, Pretty Tony.
What's that?
They do. I'm just warming them up for us. Talk about Coco Golf. No back.
Oh, you been going solo?
Yeah, I went solo for the first 10 minutes.
That's what's up, boy. You getting your Mike Greenberg on. I hear you.
Yeah, I'm trying. Mike Greenberg, Bill Simmons, some. I just need their checks. That's all. I need their checks. I was just telling everybody, Coco Golf was one one of the 4 Americans that have won the women's side of the bracket in the last 23 years, and all 4 of the women that have won in the last 23 years have been last 4 Americans that have won in the last 23 years have been African American women. Sloane Stevens, Venus, and Serena. They're the other 3.
Yeah, I didn't even know she was from Atlanta till recently when they were talking about. So that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Her and the dude
went to Wimbledon, went to the quarters. He went to Westlake High School.
No, he went to the semi. He lost in the semis.
The older guy from Westlake, yeah.
Yeah, he lost in the semis. Shelton.
Yeah. No, not Shelton. That's another guy. There was another guy that was at Wimbledon. I think it was Davenport was his last name. I can't remember his last name. He's at Wimbledon, went to the quarters. He was from Westlake.
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about Shelton. He went to the semis in the U.S. Open.
Yeah, he beat Tiafoe, who went to the semis last year.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was pretty dope. Love to see my city represent.
All right, that's enough of other sports. I know y'all. That's why we ain't got nobody watching because they saw me just talk about everything else. But what we talk about, because I'm waiting for my guys to get on here. So everybody else, they'll pop in early. But we're gonna go ahead and start with college football. NFL, we know we're gonna take the last 20 minutes or so. But college football, we just want to go ahead and get that 20 minutes. Week 2 recap. We all called Alabama losing. We didn't think they'll lose by double digits in Tuscaloosa. I knew they were going to lose. We all called it before they season.
Nah, I own it. I didn't. I had Bama winning, man. I'm not gonna run from that. I definitely took the L on that pick. I had Bama winning. I didn't think they was gonna lose.
Well, let me get our sponsor out of the way. College football recap is brought to you by Arizona Tea and Ozempic. If you drink a cup of Arizona Tea, you will be on Ozempic the next day. Arizona Tea and Ozempic, Ozempic. So, Milroe did not look good. Milroe's a 1-read quarterback, and Texas punched them in the mouth when they counted in the 4th quarter. Part of that last drive, they ran the ball 3 times, nothing fancy, no RPO, no nothing. They just ran the ball straight at them, first down. It was another 3rd and 7. You think they're going to throw, ran the ball down their throat. They were a better team. They were a better team on Saturday. Now, some folks think LSU don't have an answer for them because LSU coaching is messed up because they have the best defensive player with Perkins, and they're misplaying them. But I still think they're going to lose 3 games this year. Let's touch on that. We got Kenny Moon is wet.
So what? So what? I couldn't hear you.
I can't see the rest of your name. Kenny Moon is wet.
Kenny Moon is gay.
Come on, man.
When you ask.
I can't. I'm sorry. You know what? That's my fault. When they go low,
you go high, Faye. That's your slogan.
Yeah, that's right. So, Kenny Moon, this is all my quiet water. This is not a reflection of. I need to put my disclaimer up right quick. Let me find my disclaimer. Hold on. Let me find the disclaimer. There we go. The thoughts of the 4 balance points do not reflect the thoughts of all members on the show.
Tony, what's wrong with you, cuz?
I'm laughing at Fade with the disclaimers, boy. That boy been getting his producing on since we came back this season.
Fade on top of it, ain't it?
Got all kind of graphics. I hear you, bro. Yeah. Let's get to it.
All right. Alabama sucked this year. They don't have a quarterback. So I called it this year. 3 games, they're going to lose. That's my hot take. We're going to keep it moving. Nothing to talk about. They look like shit. You don't cuss on the show, but they look like the trash can that's outside when you take the trash out after you cleaned up your house. It's full.
Problem with Alabama, the problem with it, man, it ain't Alabama garbage. The problem with Alabama, Jalen Milroe specifically, is Tua, Bryce Young, Mac Jones, and Jalen Hurts. That's the problem with Milroe. Alabama has gotten spoiled by the fact that they done had the greatest run of quarterbacks to come through their program probably ever. And people are expecting that same thing with Milroe. He just ain't there yet. But as far as Alabama sucking, no, don't count them chickens yet. Now don't pull that one. Texas, I kind of felt Texas was going to be the better team because they had the better quarterback. But don't think just 1 minute Alabama's going to roll over. You talking about 3 losses, boy, you better chill. Better chill out because Miro ain't that bad. And actually, Jalen Miro will probably start over half the teams in the SEC. He could start at Florida. He could start at, I ain't even got to mention Vanderbilts and Kentucky's and all them, but don't just think Alabama just lay it down now. They not. The problem with him, though, is just his predecessors at quarterback. That's the issue. But then there's the flip side of that, too. Bryce Young, arguably, greatest quarterback in Alabama history. Y'all lost 2 games, too. So it's deeper than the quarterback for some reason. There's something going on with the talent. I don't know if it's the coordinators, but it's not just quarterback play. Bryce Young was on these teams, and they still didn't win a championship. So it's something else going on in Alabama. I'm not gonna say it's Georgia's emergence because Georgia has always, in a sense, got a lot of top-notch players. It's just something else. I don't know what it really is, but they not done though. Don't count them out.
Let me ask Tony this: Texas probably has a top 3 roster of talent in the country. I would guess. Will we agree on that? Top 3, maybe top 5.
Definitely top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah, talent-wise, Texas is in the same category with Georgia, Ohio State, LSU. Yeah.
Do you see Texas running the table to the CFP?
It's possible. I've been thinking about it. I actually been thinking about it. I gotta pull up their schedule, man, and see. Let me
they schedule you never know about that Red River shootout. That Texas Oklahoma game is kind of similar to Georgia, Florida. You just never know. But I said to myself, and if Alabama don't beat Texas, Texas might run the table.
All right, Texas did a great job, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, they got Oklahoma, of course, and that's in Texas.
Texas Tech, Baylor, TCU, probably.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, see the Baylor game. The Baylor game is on the road. I mean, that should still be a W, but Baylor can put, put up some points.
Baylor just got beat by somebody the other day, didn't it? Or was it? Well, that was Utah.
Yeah.
Well, Utah's a nice team, so.
Yeah,
and they had their game in hand. They lost that game in the last 4 minutes. Kansas State, I don't really know what they are. I haven't really looked at them, but they rank number 15. But I mean, it's definitely feasible. It's definitely feasible. They could run the table and be in the playoff.
Next question: Do you trust Sark though? That's the next question. Do you trust Sark to close the deal in Texas? Do you trust him?
Hey, you gotta trust him if he went into Tuscaloosa and got a W like that.
Yeah,
if he can win in Tuscaloosa, he can win in Baylor, Texas Tech, because ain't none of them atmospheres gonna be nearly what Tuscaloosa is. So you gotta trust him now. You could have had question marks about him if he wouldn't have beat Alabama, but you gotta trust him.
Nah, I mean, I fool with Sark. I know what Sark brings to the table. For real.
His wife tough too, boy. Good gracious. My bad. That slipped faint. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
Yes, she did. But it's all good. She is tough though.
Oh yeah, she's tough. She's tough. Yeah.
That way you get that swag from. You saw that boy walk to the stadium Saturday?
Yeah.
That way you get that swag from.
All right, let's go from Tuscaloosa to Boulder. Deion had everybody at the game. What I mean, it felt like a black homecoming at HBCU. on their first home game.
Man, they had Wu-Tang Clan at the games. Deion, boy. Let me give you a comparison to Deion Sanders right now and what I think. And if Deion can pull off this win against Oregon and USC or win one of them two, Deion is already on the verge of being must-see TV. So that's the first thing about it. But Deion is about to get into that must-see TV category to me, and as a Fab Five, and y'all are college basketball fan too, man. Fab Five was a group of players. See, college football is really a regionalized sport, and what I mean by that, we all love football down here in the South, but ain't nobody in Maine or New Hampshire beating down the door to get home to watch Alabama every week. Ain't nobody doing it. Or watch Georgia. Ain't nobody doing that up there. But what Deion is doing, Deion is about to be a worldwide type phenomenon, kind of like the Fab Five was. If you remember, man, the Fab Five was the first of its kind to kind of have all freshmen start. Like, you might have had a freshman here and there, and really before the Fab Five, I don't remember a lot of freshmen just getting clocked like that. But the Fab Five was must-see TV. Every night they came on, man, Fab Five was must-see TV. They were worldwide. I'm gonna tell you how you know when a sport or a team or somebody don't go worldwide. When women start knowing about that sport or that player or that team, that's when you don't went there. Because there's a lot of women that like sport, but most women, they don't pay attention to no sport. They don't. And women are talking about Deion Sanders, talking about Colorado. That's kind of how it was with Fab Five. That's the category that Deion Sanders is getting in right now. He's going to have to get a win over Oregon or USC, but he's already like that game Saturday night is at 10 o'clock. Man, I'm probably going to stay up most of the night watch that game. I ain't going to lie. I may stay up to watch that game.
Hey, Tony had a question for you. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I was definitely giving Michigan and the Fab Five their props, but UNLV was must-see TV.
UNLV, yeah, that was must-see TV on the West Coast.
Well, let me say something about the UNLV thing. See, UNLV, Larry Johnson, Stacey Altman, all them guys, they wasn't like rock stars like the Fab Five. Like UNLV was good, was great for college basketball fans. Like a college basketball fan knew about UNLV. And another thing that hurt UNLV, everybody knew about UNLV at Water. I don't think UNLV was on the plateau of, and this is what I was saying, I don't think UNLV was on the plateau of Fab Five for the simple fact, growing up, man, UNLV game came on at 12 o'clock. Nobody was able to watch them. We stayed up and snuck up to watch them games, but a lot of their games was late. So people didn't really see a lot of the UNLV games until it got into the tournament and all that kind of stuff.
You talking about staying up to 10 o'clock to watch the TCU game? Because they on the West Coast. What's the difference? So you think TCU people weren't doing that then? I mean, Colorado game. The Colorado game.
You said staying up to watch the Colorado game?
Yeah. You just said the game come on at 10 o'clock and I'm probably going to stay up and I'm going to watch it. So you think people weren't doing the UNLV games like that?
And I don't think UNLV was as worldwide as Michigan. UNLV, like I say, was big for the culture of college basketball, but it wasn't no worldwide. Like I guarantee you, if you ask your wives if they was interested in anything with sport, they gonna know more about Jalen Rose and Chris Webber and them than UNLV. Now we, as college basketball fans and people that like college basketball, of course they was must-see TV. But I'm talking about on a worldwide level where everybody is trying to watch it. Fab Five, man.
I know what you're talking about. I mean, and I'm not. I feel conflicted because I'm not trying to take nothing away from what Michigan was, dude. Because I know they were rock stars. I'm not taking nothing away from that. But I definitely think UNLV was on that level. I think they was must-see TV, and I don't think it was just for college basketball diehard fans. I think everybody knew about UNLV because they were being promoted. They were being promoted more as thugs and stuff like that than Michigan was because they had the gold teeth, they had the baggy jerseys, they was on the West Coast. Like they were being promoted as thugs too.
So
And they
you
were
think
not, and they were not losing. They was blowing everybody. They were running everybody out the gym, dude. Scoring like 140, 150 points a game.
So you think UNLV status was just as big as Michigan? I mean, I'm not arguing. I'm just asking.
I do.
I just don't feel like they were worldwide to the game like Michigan was.
I think the season where they should have won it, when they got cheated out to Duke, I think they were worldwide then. When they went 34-1, they were worldwide. After they beat the hell out of Duke the year before by 30.
Yeah, that second year.
That second year's when they're
I see you saying that second year.
And just kind of like I don't think most people outside of college basketball fans can name more than two people off of the Michigan starting five.
Jalen Rose, Jimmy Jackson.
People don't know. People unless you're a college basketball fan, you don't know about Jimmy Jackson.
Jimmy King. Ray Jackson.
They don't know about Ray Jackson.
King.
Nobody, if you're not a college basketball fan, most people don't know outside of Jalen Rose and Chris Webber.
Yeah, Rob Pelinka was on that team, if I remember correctly.
That's the same thing with UNLV. Outside of Larry Johnson
and Stacey Allen.
And maybe Greg Anthony and Stacey Allen.
Greg Anthony, Liddell Eccles, Anderson Hunt. Anderson Hunt. I had an Anderson Hunt jersey, but he used to fill it up. Got it from Greenbrier Mall.
Goodness gracious.
Totally don't like it. Whatever jersey you want from Greenbrier Mall, wear a Foot Locker. I had an Anderson Hunt jersey, like, bet, run it. Let me get a jersey.
Boy, that news should fill it up.
So let's look at Colorado. So Colorado plays Colorado State in a rivalry game this weekend. I think we're safe to say we're gonna bet on Colorado to win that one, but Colorado State does have some moxie in them to possibly upset Deion. What I'm worried about is that the Ducks, Oregon, in 2 weeks. I think that's gonna be their first loss. That's gonna be their first loss.
Oregon and USC, them back-to-back games, man.
Unless Caleb Williams takes the day off. And let's take that day off.
And I would love it. Oh man, I would love it if Deion could pop, especially USC. I would love if he could pop USC.
I think it's possible because USC defense is still trash. USC's defense is still trash.
You're right. Their defense still is trash.
Shedeur Sanders right now is a top 10 pick right now.
At least Oregon defense, so they ain't top notch, but they coached up.
They have something. They have something.
They coached up.
Yeah, Dan Lanning, I believe, is the coach.
Yeah, exactly. They coached up.
From UGA, if I remember correctly. National championship.
Absolutely.
Who called both teams football games, national championships as blowouts?
I just call W's, man. I don't worry about whether they blow out or losses. I just call W's.
Try to tell y'all that in the last 2 years. Try to tell y'all that. All right, let's transition a little bit to do a skirt admit to right now. Any teams that you see right now that surprise you in college football? Any teams right now that surprise you?
Colorado.
And that's a given. I get that part. That's given. Anybody else that's surprising you to the good or the bad?
So much power. I just make a true freshman.
That's a good question.
I'll give you mine.
Not
Clemson,
really.
Clemson, the way Clemson gonna play Florida State. Gonna get a head bashed in.
I mean, I saw that. I talked about that before the season started.
Yeah, I just watching them play this past weekend.
That doesn't surprise me.
Watching them this past weekend, struggled with. I forgot who they played Saturday. They had to come on in the second half and like, you Dabo, you won 2 national championships. You had 2 great quarterbacks. Now I don't know what you got now, quarterback. The guy at Florida State is coming. I'm hate to sound like Stephen A. Smith when I say that. The guy's coming. Miami is another team I'm gonna bring up too. They played pretty well against Texas A&M. I think Jimbo. There's a barbecue. The charcoal is lighting.
I need to see more though. I feel you, but I need to see a little bit more before I go there.
I think if
But that was a good solid win from them boys on Saturday though. But I need to see a little bit more before I go there.
I think Miami has Florida.
Tennessee may be a surprising team, man. Tennessee kind of struggled with Austin P. Maybe a little surprising team. I don't know. They kind of struggle with Austin P, but when you play them FCS opponents, you try not to show a lot. I think they only won like 30-14 or something like that. That don't really mean too much.
I think that game was. I think it was like maybe like they was only up by like 6, like late in the second quarter. Like it was like 14. Maybe I think it was something. I know it was close, and they weren't putting up a lot of points. I want to say it was like 14-6 or something like that in the second quarter. Getting ready to go into halftime.
I think I'll go back to Miami. I think Miami has Florida State at home this year. If Florida State lose one game, it's probably Miami because Florida State always has trouble historically in Miami, and I just think that's going to be a tough game. Miami is getting down in the heat. We'll see. Penn State and Notre Dame are staying under the radar. Georgia's taking care of business. They just ride into the season. They got a pretty, I would say, easy road to the championship. If I say that, the only tough game probably South Carolina and Tennessee this year. And they play South Carolina this weekend. Spencer Rattler came on the second half of the season last year. I just don't think he's going to have enough against that Georgia defense. But we'll see. Michigan, they got one more game with Jim Harbaugh being suspended. It's a crop. He got suspended.
He got 4 games or 3 games?
He got 3 games.
I thought it was 4.
No, they somebody had a problem with the 4. They declined it, so they said, we'll do a self-imposed 3 games, whatever. So there's 3 games. I thought I saw 3. It might be 4, but I thought I saw 3. So he comes back right when the Big Ten conference schedule starts for them.
Who they play this week? Or do they play this? Yeah, they play this. Who they play?
Probably Clark Atlanta or somebody.
Hey man, don't do that, man.
Michigan play East Carolina and UNLV so far. Hey man, what's been up with the CBS showing all Big Ten games? They ain't showing no SEC game yet. I thought that TV contract something kick in.
ESPN got all those rights.
ESPN got an SEC deal, man.
Well, Georgia playing on CBS Saturday.
No, that.
No, they're not.
Go look it up.
Michigan plays Bowling Green this week.
Georgia play on CBS Saturday at 3:30. That TV contract don't kick in the next year.
I thought it kicked in this year, which brings me to why we.
Because Big Ten is on the NBC channel now.
Oh yeah, it is on CBS. They still got the rights to the games. I don't know how they get in that game. I know it is something funny about that contract. I think it is something funny about that contract where I can't remember, man. I can't remember the ins and outs. But that's why they ain't had. That's why they've been showing the Big Ten game. I just can't remember the ins and outs of that contract.
Because if I'm CBS, I would have fought for that Texas Alabama game, had it on prime time like that 7. But it was a good thing Alabama didn't play on CBS. Waste of time. Is it too early to season to see which coach is on the hot seat? Is it too early, Mike?
Next question, Fabe. You know I'm not going to answer that after 2 weeks.
It's too early. Jimbo Fisher, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and put him out there. Jimbo Fisher. Oh, hey, hold on. We got This transition is brought to you by Chopping It Up. You want to get your chop on in the car. You want to get yourself in a virtual barbershop. My man D Randall down in the bottom left will take you to sit in the seat, get your hair cut, chopping it up. D Randall, what's up?
Fellas, what's popping, y'all?
What's happening?
What's good?
Let's get your input right quick before we move on to the NFL. What was your storyline from this past weekend of college football?
It looked like Texas is back. I'm trying to figure out why Matt Rule didn't change quarterbacks in the second half. I don't understand for the life of me. Sims couldn't. He was turnover prone. Plus, he couldn't handle the snaps. I don't know why Matt didn't take him out. I don't understand why he didn't do it. And then Mel Tucker. That threw me for a loop. I wasn't expecting that one. I didn't even realize that he was being investigated for it, fellas. And I'm in Michigan. I didn't even know that was even going on. Keep it together. So I mean, I like what I can't say Alabama. I heard I know Fave saying they was gonna lose 3 games this year. I'm not gonna go that far, but I will say Texas do look good. I'll say that.
Let's get to the chat right quick. Corey Green, friend of the show, says UJ cannot afford to take anything lightly, and we not. He coach on the team. Nothing easy in the SEC except Vanderbilt or sometimes Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State play with some heart. That don't mean they're gonna win, but I think they're gonna play for Mike Leach. You know, Mike Leach died in December, so I think that's going to carry over this season. They might make another bowl game without Mike Leach. But that's our college football. We're gonna get to our picks a little bit later on, but we would be remiss if we did not talk about the NFL week 1 recap. We have a lot of games. Before we get to our takeaway, let's go ahead and get the elephant out of the room. Aaron Rodgers lasted 4 plays. It lasted 4 plays. 4 plays.
Zach Wilson ain't God good. They didn't want you last year, but now they need you this year. If I'm New York Jets, I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna try to trade for somebody.
Oh, let me get my sponsor right quick. The NFL recap is brought to you by Hennessy & Co. Explore the possibilities. Yeah, so is Aaron Rodgers coming back next year? Before let's just get this out of the way. Is he coming back?
Yeah, he's coming back.
With a torn
he'll be back.
Yeah, he already put it out. He put it out today. He'll be back.
Yeah. He said, "It's darkest at night. I shall rise yet again." That's what his quote was. So, do you think he should come back?
Yeah,
he's coming back. I don't think he should.
Yeah, that ain't the way to go out. I don't want y'all to remember me as going out with an Achilles injury. Yeah, I'm coming back.
Yeah. I don't know if you know what? He gonna come back because he gonna want to prove a point, like Atwater said. Right. Next year he'll be 40. So if you look at it, the Achilles is probably one of the more tougher injuries to come back from, especially playing football.
Yeah, 9-12-month recovery.
I mean, the ego in me says absolutely, but the common sense in me says he need to go ahead and hang it up.
That's what I say. Totally agree with that.
No, I can't.
And he has a bigger ego than me, so so obviously, he put it out there. We know what he's gonna do, but like D say, that's one of the hardest injuries to come back from, and he's mobile. He uses his legs quite a bit as part of his game.
Yeah, I think he told Garrett Wilson too. They say he told Garrett Wilson, "Sorry, kid, I'll be back next year." He talked to Garrett Wilson.
He told sorry,
I saw that.
broke down. Like, man.
I can't go out like that. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, man, I can't go out like that.
I
I
believe
just
he's
can't.
coming back because, like Tony said, he got the ego the size of Texas. I think he's coming back just because of who he is. I just don't know if it's smart.
Hey, what are you all right, man?
Allergy acting up.
He's on that Donald Trump.
Oh, the allergies. Oh, okay.
Allergy.
Sound like you snorting a damn 8-ball over there, son, dude.
I done snorted 2 8-ball, Tony. Hey, wait a minute, hold on, man. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, Tony. Hey, let me tell you something, man. If I snorted 8-ball, that's my damn business, okay? Don't you put my drug habits out on the air like I'm Eddie Kane or David Ruffin, okay? Now I got to sing my song off the Temptation. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse. My bad. They ain't come to see you, Tony. Otis.
That's why we don't fool Atwater, man. That's why we don't fool this young man.
They ain't come to see you, Otis.
My bad, Tony. My bad.
David Ruffin. And these are the temptations.
Man, I ain't fooling with y'all, man.
Ain't fooling with Atwater, man.
Okay. Now we got Aaron Rodgers out of the way. Do the Jets need to find them another quarterback?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who you gonna bring in?
I don't trust Zach Wilson, home.
Me.
I'm with Atwater. I'm gonna find me somebody I can trade with to get me a quarterback. I'm with Atwater on that. I have to find me a quarterback because that defense was really good.
Man, they need to go get Jameis, man. They probably can get him cheap.
How about the 5th round pick? Yeah.
They need to go get Jameis.
Hey, let me ask you this question though: do you believe in Zach Wilson enough that he can be another with that defense? Can be another Trent Dilfer?
No.
No, because Trent didn't turn the ball over like that.
No. Trent knew his role. And guess what they did with him after the season?
Yep.
They went and got Elvis Gerback. Because Brian Billett, his ego was so big, like someone was saying about Aaron Rodgers, his ego was so big with offense because he was the most innovative offensive mind at that time in the late 90s, early 2000s. He said, this is not how I want to win. Defense cared because that Ravens defense was historic. He said, we are not going to win like this with defense. I need my offense to carry some of their burden. And of course, they never went back to another Super Bowl until 2012.
Yeah, Trent knew his role. He knew his role. He knew what to do. He knew what plays worked. He knew what plays would get him extend the drive. He was a smart quarterback. I just with Zach Wilson, I don't know if it's mental because physically I think he all right. I think it's mental, man.
But these shouldn't be messing with folks' moms. That's what it is. About leave the moms alone. Leave the moms alone. We'll be straight.
Something going on upstairs, bro. So you right, Fab. It's just some is going on. It ain't computing football wise upstairs for Zach Wilson, man. I don't. And that defense is damn sure good enough to carry the Jets a long way. You got a shutdown corner that can shut down half of the field with Sauce Gardner. You got receivers. You got the pieces offensively. You ain't got a veteran running back. You got Breece Hall. You got Dalvin. You got pieces. I don't know how that offensive line, but you gonna need a quarterback. You got pieces for that Jets team to make a little run.
So this would be speculation for me, but Zach Wilson kind of puts me. This situation kind of puts me in the mind of somebody who's probably just relying on talent alone and not putting in the work.
It kind of makes sense.
Not putting in the work to be great. And again, this is me just speculating. I don't want to sign them young man.
Right.
But that's just what it seems like to me. Because everybody knows the arm, especially the arm talent. The arm talent's there. He can make any throw. But just because you can make any throw don't necessarily mean that you should make every throw.
There you go. That's why I say it's mental. You right, man. I'm with you, Tony. I'm with you. And there's speculation on my end. I'm just thinking some ain't right. I'm not calling the man, I'm not insulting his intelligence. I'm saying certain things don't seem right when he out there on the field, bro. It just don't seem right. And you with a team like that, man, a quarterback. He ain't got to be great. He can be decent, and they can make a run, bro. They can make a run. At least I think so.
Yeah, make a run right to week 18. That's all because they're big on. But let's get some quick takes right quick. Around the horn, everybody. I'm gonna start with Mike, then Damon, then Tony, and I'll get mine. What was your biggest takeaway from week 1 besides the Cowboys winning 40-0, Mike?
My big take, man, it was a lot of quarterbacks that barely got over 100-yard passing. Like, bro, Desmond Ridder in the fourth quarter, until he made a big throw at one time, he only had 53 yards passing. Joe Burrow had 82 yards passing for the game. I think Geno Smith had like a 115. Dak Prescott like 130. It was a lot of quarterbacks, bro, that wasn't. I don't know if they wasn't looking good, but it just they barely were getting over 100 yards passing. And I think a lot of this has to do with the fact,
they ain't played preseason. That's what I'm about to say. They ain't playing preseason.
Yeah, that's the same thing I'm about to say, Fat. Yeah. A lot of these dudes ain't getting these reps in the preseason, man, and it's showing. It really did. But yeah, that was my take, man. Just a lot of guys barely got 100-yard passing.
I was impressed with a few rookies that played. I was impressed. Like Bijan made a good run. Branch got the pick 6. Gibbs looked good. Laporta looked good. There was a few rookies that looked good, but Jalen Carter looked good. Georgia product. He looked good, and I think if Philadelphia played this right, that middle of that defense is going to be the anchor for the next 7 to 10 years. But I actually like some of the rookie play that was out there. But I'm with the most surprising thing. I'm with Atwater. I'm surprised of the quarterback play. But Fade, Mike, y'all brought up a good point. And Atwater and I talked about it. A lot of them didn't play in the preseason. So week 1 was rusty for them because they really did not know rust off. So that was my big. Those were my 2 big takes.
Pretty Tony.
I mean, mine would kind of be. I was kind of surprised about the Chargers. I thought they would have looked a little bit better than they did. No, I was actually kind of expecting Herbert to take a step forward. I mean, like I said, it's still week 1, but no, I definitely was expecting the bigger showing in him. With Kellen Moore being over there, you know what I'm saying, as the offensive coordinator. And also as far as Josh Allen, man, I'm really wondering, when people are going to really accept that he's showing you who he is. This was not an anomaly. That he's definitely a turnover machine. Again, his ego and his football heart makes him think that he can make every play, whether it's throwing, whether it's trying to run somebody over, whatever the case may be. And he's a turnover machine. And it really baffles me, and I get it. This is why I love my boy so much. But the Dak Prescott slander is relentless. But because he's a Dallas Cowboy quarterback. But then again, you got Josh Allen, who's supposed to be the poster child and who's supposed to be the the rival to Patrick Mahomes, but yet and still he get all these passes. But you know, it is what it is, man. DC4L. That's what it is. That's what we do.
They want to talk about, baby. They want to talk about, baby.
I told you, man, put your wife's mouse pad down, man.
That's my quarterback. My biggest takeaway, Jordan Love looked pretty good. Jordan looked good. That's just me. Jordan Love looked good. Post Aaron Rodgers. It might have been the Bears, but these are NFL teams. These are players that get paid also. And he didn't have all his weapons either. So let's put that in context.
Right, because Watson was missing. So,
Like,
but you know what though, Fade, Tony, that Chicago's offensive line looked putrid.
Still trash.
And if they're gonna play like that, Justin Fields is gonna be running for the rest of the season. He's gonna be running for his dear life.
Yeah, and everybody blaming him because he's not looking. He didn't have time to throw. I mean,
he had no time. That's
time.
what trips me out about. That's what trips me out about certain people who watch football. If you watch, even with 3-step drops, he couldn't even take his third step back before he took off. They gave him no protection, really, bro. None. And I know Green Bay got the superior roster, but good God, man, he didn't have any time at all to really get into progressions. It's a good thing he is mobile because his escapability let him survive.
Justin Fields was unprotected, just like a frat boy at Daytona Beach, and he couldn't make it to the gas station to get some condoms.
Oh my goodness, Faye. That's rough. That's rough, man. But you about right.
That's how he look. One more takeaway before we move to Mike and disappear, so he can't give the picks. But it's either here or there. But my last takeaway: the damn San Francisco 49ers. What are we gonna do with them?
I'm gonna tell you something. That would be a good game. As much as I love Tony, that's my guy. 30 years. I hate the Cowboys. I'm not like Fabian. I'm gonna be honest. I hate the Cowboys. I will say this though. That is one of the few teams I really think can give San Francisco problems because Dallas themselves has a decent defense. They have the weapons to disrupt San Francisco's defense to an extent. That's if they keep playing the way they playing, I know it's the Giants. I know. But if they keep playing the way they played against the Giants, it's just that San Francisco's defense is so freaking scary. They are that good. And with McCaffrey and the rest of them boys, man, they can really open up a defense and make them vulnerable because of the speed, because of the versatility, and they do got some hogs up there on that line that can block. So if you keep a quarterback, you got to keep a quarterback. They can make some noise, but I mean, Dallas do got the.
I think it'll come down, and this is of course just speculating that them two stay healthy and meet in the playoffs. But I think that it'll probably come down to them, and I think that it's gonna come down to who make the least mistakes. The past 2 years they met in the playoffs. Both offenses scored a lot of points during the regular season, but could barely get any points on the board in the playoffs when we played each other because of our defense. Both of our defenses are elite, so it's going to come down to the quarterback that makes the smart play and doesn't turn the ball over to set up the other team to get easy points. The same thing came down to the past 2 previous seasons.
And that got a little bit to do with your head coaches and coordinators getting together to put a decent game plan together and fellas, in-game coaching.
I
think that's what's going to be. I think that's what's going to be a huge thing. Who has the better in-game adjustments? Because Tony, you're right. The defenses stepped up in the playoffs, and I've always been a defensive person. I love defense because defense travels. The offense may slow down, but if you got a great defense, it travels and it keeps you in games. So
absolutely. It's just like the 90s, man.
Yeah.
You know, when we got ready to take off, who was our roadblock?
49ers. Yeah.
The same thing.
It's gonna be
coming.
it's gonna be an interesting thing to watch as this season play on, to see who steps up to try to dethrone San Francisco, Dallas, Philadelphia. Who's gonna give those three teams of problems and give them a fighting chance to where you might be able to beat them? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. That's the thing, because those are the three best teams in the NFC. And at the end of the day, who's going to step up to be that other team to give them problems? That's what we need to be asking.
The way you can attack the 49ers, their layers of offense and defense are unmatched. But the one area where you could challenge the 49ers, which the Chiefs did when they beat the hell out of them last year, are their cornerbacks. The cornerbacks are not strong by their front seven. You could attack San Francisco in the secondary. Cowboys, there is maybe at middle linebacker, Van Der Esch, maybe you can attack them, but other than that, you can't. Cowboys are going to be a tough out. Their defense is solid everywhere, maybe middle linebacker, but they're strong everywhere else. But the 49ers, you can attack the corners and get away with it. You can attack the corners.
Thing is, are you going to have time? Because their strength is the defensive line. They really can rush forward and can get home. That's the thing. You're right about the secondary. Is the front seven, really the front four, because San Francisco, they rush 4 to 5 players, and that D line gets home. They know how to get home. It's that exploiting that at that secondary is tough when that front four gets to the quarterback.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great season with just 1 week.
I think so. I got a little confidence in the home team. I just need to see them be consistent with it. I know they didn't. I know Kelsey wasn't there, and I know Chris Jones did, as of the time, didn't sign. But that was a statement win for the Lions. I think it was a statement win, because any other time, they would have folded. They'd have lost that game, and everybody here would have been like, "Man, we put our hopes up, and these boys go lay an egg." They actually went out to Arrowhead and gave Patrick Mahomes fits, made him a little happy feet, things like that. But he didn't have a safety blanket. But a win is a win. Everybody got injuries, so I give them credit. They just need to keep it up.
Let me get the comment in the chat right quick. Corey Green, Fabian, on the last show, you chose the Chiefs. I said the Chiefs and the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. I chose both of them. I ain't made a pick yet. I don't even know if the Chiefs gonna make it. Don't talk bad about San Francisco. Dallas want revenge. Defensive game. Of course, say defensive game like last year, as long as everybody stay healthy. And Anatole Cloud, shot producer. I was late. Georgia will win this weekend by 30. USA basketball need a big 3. The Lions look tough. That's one thing we forgot to talk about. We'll run out of time. We probably need to broach that next week. But just quick thoughts on USA not placing.
Tony be prepared, boy. I gotta give my dog credit. He be prepared. He represent. He know how to be prepared, bro.
Georgia bred Cowboy fan. That's what I'm talking about. We the boy. Like the things all say. We the boys. We the boys.
Hey, put it down. You know you was not a Cowboy fan.
I got money on y'all this year.
I'm not messing with Fabian Vicks right now, man. I don't know about you, Tony, but I ain't messing with this young man.
I'm not entertaining them, man. I'm not entertaining.
I've turned over a new leaf.
Yeah, okay. It sounds good, Faye. It sounds good.
All right, guys. It's been fun once again. This has been the 4 Valley Bowl. We're gonna see you next week. We out.
Peace.